It's a shame I have to take this off because me and my eyeshadow, it needs to go someplace. Because do you see this? Let's go ahead and jump into the video. Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So today I have the Adept Cosmetics Sumarian Sunset. Woo, baby. This is just, it's gorgeous. It's really, really gorgeous. That's all I got to say. I mean, can you look at it? Can you, ooh, you know, it's all the sparkly multi and dual chromes and one holo chrome, including this one. The holo is the one that's on my eyes. Can you tell? I know you've got to be able to see it. Okay. I'm distracted. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. And if you're oldie but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. And obviously I'm distracted by beautiful, sparkly, shiny eyeshadows. So eyeshadow really is my jam, but please just call me Ash or Ashley. So as I just mentioned, we are talking about the Sumarian Sunset today. This is the fall palette released by Adept Cosmetics, and it's pretty much in their standard format, you know, just a little bit larger. So now we're getting some of these more of these beautiful shadows, these sparkly, because you know, before we would usually have maybe 2 mattes and then the rest shimmers. Now we have 5 mattes and 2 rows of shimmers. So as I just mentioned, we have one sparkly holo multi-chrome here, right here. There is one sparkly dual chrome. The rest are multi-chromes. And I am really impressed. Like, some of the shades in here are unique. Like, yes, have we seen some of these shades before? Yes. But at the end of the day, I'm still thrilled when I pick up this palette. Now, this palette retails for $79. Yes, it's pretty expensive. But you know, these multi-chromes are expensive. The pigments are generally more expensive. Even if you were to look into purchasing, you know, 3 or 4 multi-chromes from, let's say, Terra Moons, because Terra Moons is one of my favorite multi-chrome brands. $79, that might be about 4 shades. 4, 5 shades. Easy. Tops. That's it. Unless there's a sale. And that's just to be honest. So I feel like the price point is fair, but yes, it is expensive. Currently the palette is sold out. The launch sold out. It launched last Friday. But as I mentioned later on in the video that, you know, basically the next morning, I want to say on that Saturday or so, you were able to still purchase the palette. The pre-order has already gone up on the palette. So if you're thinking about this, go ahead and pre-order it now so you can get it in your hand. So I think she's been sending out the pre-orders pretty quickly, or making sure that you won't have to wait too long, you know. Now, in true format with this palette, you do have like their vegan upcycled faux leather. Okay, so not leather. I love how we have like the whole sunset color. We have, you know, the multi-chrome emblem of the name of the palette. You turn it over, you have the Adept Cosmetics. There is a full-size mirror. It actually is an imprint on the mirror. It says the best of both worlds. And you can definitely see like the shifts when I move my mirror. I do still have the film over my mirror, okay? Now, a few more things that you should know about this eyeshadow palette, and this is pretty much typically, I find with all multi-chromes, a lot of makeup in general, and especially to the brand Adept, and this is actually coming from their website. It says the formula is creamy and will need to be kept in a cool, dry place. I always recommend that you keep your makeup in a cool, dry place. It will increase the longevity of your makeup. The shimmer formula will work best if applied with your fingers. I think that is very much true. The only brush that you'll see me really pretty much using to apply any shadows will be a rougher 02. I feel like this brush is very excellent about laying down multi-chrome shadows and keeping the integrity of your multi-chrome shadows pretty much true to how it's supposed to look on your eyes. The other little brush you'll basically see is my flat definer by Sonia G. I use this always to touch up the corners, get the shape of how I want my shadows to be. Now, some shades are a gel cream mixture, not a typical powder eyeshadow, and may move around when in transit or when in touch. This is normal. Trill is a multi-chrome pigment that is not safe for the eye use in the USA, but safe in the USA. What shade is Trill? Let's So Trill, it's going to be this one. So just kind of use a warning, you know, if you're kind of sensitive, maybe just test it out, see how you do with that. And it says you might have some skin staining, and oil-based makeup remover is highly recommended for removing this product. I do pretty much use, no, I'm telling the truth. I typically do not use oil-based makeup removers a lot. Every once in a while, I'll use my DHC cleanser that I get from Costco. However, my eyes can be sensitive to oil-based removers, specifically my tear ducts getting clogged, causing me to come up with styes or eyelid infections. I ain't got time to have no nasty sty. So I usually pretty much use my Neutrogena wipes, and I might put a little extra micellar water on that, and I find that that is pretty much all I need in order to take these shadows off. So I would like to put that out there. I don't typically use the what's the name, but yes. And then I always recommend a glitter glue when applying these shadows, because they're going to make them look the best, and it's going to make them stay in place. And it's going to give you that longevity, especially when these shadows have a bunch of mica in them. They can tend to move around, especially the more multi-chrome is chroming, the more you're going to need it to stay in place. Okay. Now, it says there will be creasing, and there may also be shimmer fallout. To help with both of these issues, a good eye primer is recommended. Like I just said, I do prime my eyelids, but I also, when I get ready to lay down my shimmer, NYX glitter glue. Okay. Now, she does also mention that there are high amounts of shea butter in the eyeshadow and may cause a natural nut smell or something similar, and this is normal. I don't smell it, and they do not use any type of fragrance. Now, the cool thing about Adept shadows also are they're able to come out. You know, they're magnetic. So if you're a person that loves to like mix and match their palettes, stick shades and other particular palettes, make your own palettes, rearrange your palettes, good news, you can, okay? And I did mention that the materials are upcycled and vegan leather and all that great stuff. So if you want more information about the palette itself, you can jump on over to the website, and it'll tell you about all the ingredients and everything like that. So let's go ahead and get started, because I actually have 5 looks for you. And then I did pull out the Haus of Elle palette. So the Haus of Elle palette right here, you know, it has some very orange fiery shades in here, and it's a formula that most people tend to love by Adept Cosmetics, including myself, and I do a few comparisons at the end. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm really excited to play with this palette. So I filled in my eyebrows using my Goof Proof pencil in the shade 3.75. That's by Benefit Cosmetics. And then I went ahead and primed my eyes with the Pat McGrath InstensiEyes Longwear Primer, and it does, in fact, dry clear. I've been really happy playing with this primer, so we're going to see how the Adept shadows do with this primer as well, and if the mattes pop a little bit more. I'm really curious to see. So let's go ahead and get started. And here are the first two looks, and these shadows are beautiful. My gosh, look at this orangey red shade. That is the shade, let's see, it's called USS Defiant right here. What a beautiful shade. And I definitely have to compare that to the shade that's in the House of L palette. What is it, Zora L, that I love so much. I feel like it might go on a little bit smoother, but maybe not, because I used House of L yesterday and my look was beautiful, but just so-so. But I really wasn't comfortable when I was doing my makeup. I was in a lot of pain. I was trying to rush and it didn't work out. And the shade Risa, gorgeous as well, with the green to pink shift. And I so far the shimmers have been wonderful. Now what I will say about the mattes, and I'm just gonna let it fly. I mean, on my complexion, it just kind of gives ashy. It worked out well to help blend this out, and that's what I'll have to use it as, so it's okay. But Pastronic Nets, it's a bit chalky for me, and then so I'm assuming that Jalad is going to be too. So really for me and my skin complexion, I only have like 3 mattes in this palette, which is, I don't know. It's okay because everything can't be for me, and there's a lot in here for me. And I feel like the mattes that are deeper in range do work well for me. So I can definitely use to just kind of blend certain things out. But Delta Quadrant, Tanagra, and Darmok, which are the deeper mattes, they definitely work well for me. And I felt like they paid well on that primer, which was the Pat McGrath primer. It really just kind of gave them that punch that I was looking for, and they popped up well and they blended out well. So Adept really has been improving their matte formulation, but I am not mad. Both of these looks are gorgeous. So let me tell you what I used on my face real quick. I went ahead with my Haus Labs foundation. This is the shade A42. And then I went ahead and took, well, I don't know where it went. Maybe I put it up. Oh, I did put it up. Okay. Then I went ahead and took my Luminous Silk Concealer in the shade 7.5 for my concealer. And my bronzer was going to be the Juvia's Place Tan Bronzer in the shade tan. Oh, it is tan. It's a duo. It's a duo in the shade tan. For blush, I went in with my Clarity's Cosmetics blush. I took this as my blush, and this is the shade Extra Shot Please. And I went in with one of my favorite highlighters. It's just a peachy gold highlighter. This is a Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter in collaboration with Puma. And I've had this forever, and you still see I'm still panning it. But it's one of my favorite highlighters. It's just really pretty, like peachy gold, as you can see. So you can use any peachy gold highlighter you want to. I was digging in my little basket for eyeliners, and I went ahead and used my Glam Shop eyeliner on this one. It's just a nice army green color. But then this eyeliner right here is the 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Torch by Urban Decay. So that is the shade that you have right here. And I thought that was super fun to put in the waterline. This is an eyeliner that came out when they had the Naked Heat palette. So I feel like right now, this is kind of like a good rendition of warm palettes. Because remember how warm palettes were like all the rage? And you couldn't do anything unless you had like this particular shade in the palette. If that shade wasn't in your palette, back in like, like 2012, 2012, no, I would say more like, let's see, 2016, 2018, there we go. If you didn't have that warm brown terracotta shade, your palette wasn't fire back then, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do another look. I'm looking at the time. Do I have? Because I'm like, oh my gosh, these shadows, they really kind of have to stand alone to see the beauty of them. Try to bang out two really quick because I have someplace to be, but then I want to do one final look. So you might end up with 5 looks. Let me see. I'll be back. I'm back with the next 2 looks, and I think they came out simply beautiful. Off camera, though, I did extend these shades up because I felt like they were getting lost with my hooded eyes. And I opted to just go with some black eyeliner this time. This is the Pat McGrath Extreme Black eyeliner. It's the Permagel eyeliner. And I just wanted to kind of play around with a couple of the colors. Now, I was really pleased how this shade came out. I was like, it looks so yellow in the pan, but then it flips and it gets that really fiery orange. I was not expecting that. And I thought it was going to be really pretty with this shade right here. And you know, a lot of times when you play with these shades, it's just good to kind of use one shade so you can see the total shift. But these shades kind of gave like extra dimension right here. And I just popped it in the inner corner because it still gives that dimension. And you still get a little shift, and it's kind of deep enough to just like carry the outer V. But overall, I'm really pleased with how these look. The shade Trill. It's beautiful. It has like that nice pink kind of shift to it. And well, it is pink. It's a nice pinky orange shift to it. And then I popped Lol in the corner right there. And I was like, I wonder if it's going to kind of take over the pink, but it didn't. And I failed to mention with the last look, I have on the same lip gloss. So it's going to be the Flesh 4 by McGrath. So I'm going to be back for one more look, but I have to run and step out the house for a couple hours, but I will be back so we can close out this video. One thing I can see though, I'm like, y'all gonna be like, start talking about, you're yellow again. Yeah, because my hair is really blonde again. I'm seeing that for myself, even though we have definitely fixed the yellow lighting. So, but I definitely see that coming back. I was like, I look yellow, but I was like, but I am yellow. Yeah, with the hair, it's definitely giving yellow vibes. All right, I gotta go. I'll be back. All right, I'm back as I promised. About 6.5 hours later, a little bit later than I expected, but not really, because I had to, I know I mentioned in one video that my cousins and I, we have a boating business. And so I had to run to the harbor because we had a charter that was boarding. Just going to reprime my eyelids. And I did take off my face makeup because my face just felt itchy and sticky. And my nephew's second birthday party. So after that, we went over there. They kept it kind of low key, and so I was like, okay. So I almost didn't make it to finish this video, but I was like, nope, let me finish. So I can have this up, because otherwise I probably won't have time to film until Thursday, and today is Sunday. So yeah, I was like, let me just go ahead, do my last look. Just repriming the eyelids with that McGrath primer. I just love how it dries down translucent. It works for me. Milk Makeup had a primer like that, but I used it and I wasn't a fan. I don't even know if I still have it. Do I? It looks like I decluttered it. Anywho, let's go ahead and get started with another look. Well, guys, this is the 5th and final look, and this look is amazing. Oh my gosh, the shadow. I am so here for it. It's like a holographic shadow. I wonder if she described it as a holographic shadow. It's like a holograph. It's peachy. It's silver. This is stunning. Like, oh my gosh. Love it. Now, when you saw me debating, I was trying to figure out, like, am I going to mess up the look when I add in Praxis, which is a little bit of the pink? But I'm glad I did. So, like, just a little bit of it, just on the little edges, just to help kind of tie it in with the green. But this, with this green and smoky, it's good. Look, if you are still due to see Beyonce and you have this palette right here, Baby, yes. Tal Shar, yes. That is the silver. Oh, that you want to wear on your eyes to the concert. Like, I love the look I created to go to the Beyonce concert, but and I did redo that for you guys down. You know, you can find on my page. It was a couple of videos ago. It's like my welcome back video, and I'll try to link it. But this shadow, it is magic. So for my face details, I did the same face details. I just did fresh makeup. Woo, because my face was feeling itchy and just not right. Okay, so you know how it is when your face is just like, ah, you know. So I opted to go ahead with, once again, with the Hunter Green eyeliner just to tie everything in. Still have on the same lip gloss as the other 4 looks, which was the Flesh. This is Flesh 6, yeah. Flesh 6 by Pat McGrath. This was one of my favorite, I would say, lip glosses by her. So now this palette is stunning. So this is by far my favorite look. I did really love my first couple of looks, and some of the shades, they really surprised me. Like, I knew that they were going to pop. I knew that they were going to be good, but I just couldn't grasp like how good they would be. And even like when I put them on my eyes, it was like I got it, but look. So far, this is like my favorite shade because it's just bomb. It's silver with like all these different reflex in here. I know you see the holograph with a peach undertone. Where do we have silvers that have like a peach pinky undertone? Where? And then I really love the shade Risa. So I used all the shades. The only shade that I really didn't get like a lot of time with would be the shade Mogue, because I just used it as an inner corner highlight. And then Far Point, excuse me, I did use it as an inner corner highlight, but that area was just larger. Lao was beautiful right here. Trill was beautiful. Packled. That really surprised me as well. I really love all the shades. Obsidian Order was really pretty too. Everything. First 2 rows, I'm very satisfied about it. To me, there are no duds in this palette as far as the shimmers, okay? So I do remember as far as when I tried out the Arrow palette, the Inspired, it was a couple of shades I was like, I'm not really feeling this particular formula. But so far, formula-wise, everything is just so smooth and just glides on with ease. This shadow looks flawless, because sometimes I find that, I don't know, just let me know if you know what I mean. Sometimes I find like these high foil shadows, like sometimes they can just look a mess on your eyes. Like if you don't lay them down correctly, or if they don't have that right glide, or if it's a little bit too chunky, it just looks crazy. And you're like, help, this is supposed to be beautiful, but it's looking a mess. But all of these shadows, oh my gosh. I'm like, can I wear this to work or to my flu clinics that I have to do tomorrow? I mean, I could, but it might be a bit much. But I'm like, where am I going out next? Because me and this little eyeshadow, we need to go out on the town. Because, my goodness, I am here for it. Now, for the matte situation, I love the color Now, for the mattes, I love the colors that she chose for the mattes. I think they're great. It really just gives the palette like kind of like the extra wow factor. But, you know, I already kind of told you, Jalad, I did use that a little bit to help blend out the edges. And for me, like these two are really just blend out shades, excuse me. Now, I would, like in a normal palette, or when you hear me talk about blends money, I would say like, yes, you can blend it out. You can put this on the inner corner. You can put this on the lid. And that technically could be true for this particular palette, but let's be honest. We have all of these beautiful, gorgeous shimmers. Like when I go into this palette, I'm thinking about shimmers. I'm not thinking like, yeah, I want a matte inner corner. Now you might do a little matte inner corner. But I definitely know I don't want like a matte eyelid like I would do sometimes with Blends Bunny, because those shades have so much depth and variety to them. So I definitely see the place in the palette for them. I definitely like the colors of them along with this, but I would not say that these really show up the best on my skin complexion. I would say they're just all right. They're giving just a tiny bit ashy. I know they're not meant to be ashy colors, but it is just giving a little bit ashy colors. Now, as far as the formulation of the mattes, I'm very impressed. I feel like my Pat McGrath palette is also my Pat McGrath primer. Where is, I can't ever find it. There we go. So I feel like this is actually helping the shadows pop as well, because it's just like allowing those colors to come through. The matte formula seems to be better to me. It performed really well. I didn't have any problems with it like fading away or appearing patchy or anything like that. So overall, I am really impressed with this palette. I really like this palette. I was waiting for this. This was like a new release. Once I saw that sneak peek, I was like, oh yes, come on Adept. I feel like she really killed it with this palette. Now I'm going to pull out Haus of Elle real quick and do like 1 or 2 comparisons. And I feel like the formula, everybody loves Haus of Elle. I feel like the formula is very much comparable to Haus of Elle. I do feel that these shimmers in the Sumarian Sunset, I think they're a little bit smoother than Haus of Elle. Because I did just work with Haus of Elle yesterday. So let me pull that out real quick. Haus of Elle here, you know, she was one of those beauties that just kind of came in, stole all of our hearts. So I think as soon as I pull this palette out, you can see that some of the shadows just have a little bit more texture to them, especially like the middle shade. So I feel like Zor-El is one of those shades. It's like, oh, it can kind of be comparable to Obsidian. So I definitely wanted to take the time to kind of swatch that. And this shade is still really good. It's really creamy. Here it is here. Oh, we love some Zor-El. It's like, it's magic. It's just magic, you know? And then we have Obsidian Order. So I feel like this is one of the shades that could kind of be kind of closest to. So if you see it here, it's definitely more like bronze in the Zor-El shade. As you can see it. Okay, wait. They're kind of together-ish, you know? Let me lift it up. There you guys can see it. All right. So you can kind of see it. Like this one's more magenta. This one I feel like you could definitely readily see that like more bronze-y coming out in the Zor-El shade from Haus of Elle. But that also could be because, you know, the background is like gold in this one. And it's going to also take on those reflex on the background. Now we're going to jump in. We're going to go with Obsidian Order, which I would think it would be the closest to and reminds me of. And Obsidian Order, first bat, it's very creamy. Man. So this is Obsidian Order. This is Zor-El. So Obsidian Order seems a little creamier. It definitely seems thicker. Like it has more body to the shadow, if that makes sense. So we're going to pop the 2 swatches together. Woo! So definitely, okay, Obsidian Order kind of keeps going for days. You know, it kind of just keeps on going. Zor-El kind of slows down, gets a little bit more particles in here. As you can see, both very similar. Well, I wouldn't say very similar, both similar in family. Like they could be cousins, you know. And both, I definitely see like the copper and the greenish kind of flip to it when I look at it. Yeah, definitely Zor-El is coming off a little bit more bronzy, but Obsidian Order definitely is darker in base. Definitely darker in base. You can tell that also by my fingers. Also seems like as I look at it that Zor-El might have more of a gray base versus Obsidian Order, maybe more of a black base here. So definitely unique enough to have in my collection. USS Defiant, because she's hot in red and orange. Very silky shade also. All of these shades very silky. Let's see. So this is Obsidian Order. This is Zor-El. I'm going to pop it right next to Zor-El so we can see. All right. So we see that USS Defiant is definitely brighter. Definitely maybe a little bit more metallic. Particles a little bit tighter together versus the Zor-El shade. But I would say that that shade is probably a little bit closer to here. So I see the flip, but it's not as much, okay? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then while we're at it, let's get one more shade because Packled. This one, gorgeous as well. This one has a lot of slip, very smooth, high mica shade right here. It was Zor-El, and I'm gonna put it here. Woo! So, as you can see, these are different. I don't know if it's my skin complexion per se, where they just come on looking very bold and bright as the same, a little bit the same, but they're both very pretty. These are two from the new palette, and this is Zor-El. So definitely these orange fiery multi-chromes, I'm very here for it. Love them so much, okay? So, you know what I just thought about real quick? Let's do a couple more swatches with Haus of El because you definitely have these little fiery tones in here. So let's see how they stack against the new one. So this is the one in the middle. Ooh, very orangey, coppery. We love this shade also. That's this one in the middle called Allura Zor-El. And this one is smooth, but it also has a little, sometimes a little grittiness. Okay, so remember this is Zor-El. These are the two from the palette. This is the one from the palette. First one was swatch. Okay. So you can kind of see, kind of similar to these, but definitely, you see how the Haus of El shimmers, they're not as tightly pressed, I would say. The particles spread out a little bit more. Now let's take Cal El at the top, the pink one. And these are smooth. They're not rough at all. I just feel like, you know, it's probably like the worst place ever to swatch it, but okay, let's try that again because clearly, or let me just make it larger so you can see. So these shades are definitely similar. It's just that, I don't know. I think you get a little bit more punch, honestly, with the Sumarian Sunset palette. I think they're a thicker shadow. Let's see. And then we're going to try the little peach shade since we have this one down here from Sumerian. So you got this one right here. So it's like, you know what? So this is like if you have both, if you're deciding you need both. So that's definitely way more gold than this one. And you see how it spreads out more. You like, I feel like you could halfway get away with no glitter glue with Sumerian Sunset. I would never try it because I know you would get all the punch using the glitter glue. But definitely the Haus of El palette, you definitely need a glitter glue to make these pop. And that's definitely way more gold than this one. Is more pinky. So yeah, just thought I should add that in there. As far as my final thoughts, I love this palette. I'm here for it. I'm happy as a camper, okay? So I think that this look is gorgeous. I love how this look came out. Tell me, what is your favorite look? Like, let me see. I remember the other looks. Oh, the look with obsidian. Yeah, the look with obsidian. Let's see. I did obsidian together, and then did I do Packled or US Defiant? That look was pretty. The look with Risa is pretty. 5 point. I'm gonna do swatches. I mean, I kind of have to, but let's just see it by itself. Cause this looks like it would just be a nice little kind of neutrally shade to throw on the lid. Yeah, for daytime, a little pinky. Oh yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty. All right, so yeah, I'm having fun with this. But let me know, what was your favorite look? Are you going to grab this palette? Did you grab this palette? Did you get it on a pre-order? Come to think of it, these, like, I don't know if she's increased her units, but this didn't sell out as fast as I expected it to sell out because, you know, in the past, like, you had to snatch things super quick. They would sell out in 3 or 4 minutes. It would be so annoying. But I did go back and check, like, 20 minutes later, and I think she actually didn't sell out until the next day, which is a good thing because she sold out, but you had time to go and get it. You know what I mean? So leave me a comment down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be soon. And subscribe to my channel because you know I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. And with all of that being said, you already know what time it is. It's time for the chat dance. Hey, 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 chat dance. Chat dance. Hey, chat dance. Chat. All right, y'all. Bye.